Brothers and sisters, the bullet did not announce itself with an explosion. There was no thunder, no warning, just a sharp crack, and then a thin, haunting whistle as it sliced through the evening air, clean, precise, unforgettable, like a razor cutting silk. Then came the silence. That terrible silence that follows when death passes so close, you can almost feel its breath against your skin. My security detail threw me to the ground. Someone was screaming. And in that moment, strangely calm, painfully clear, a thought crossed my mind. So this is how it ends. But it didn't end. For 7 days after that failed assassination attempt, I said nothing. Not because I was hiding, not because I was afraid, not because I was cowering in a bunker while my enemies congratulated themselves on almost succeeding. No, I was thinking, processing, asking myself what that bullet truly represented and what they were really trying to destroy. Tonight, standing before my nation and speaking to the entire African continent, I finally understand. They were not trying to kill Ibrahim Traoré. I am just one man, a mortal human being. I will die someday, whether a bullet finds me or old age does. What they were trying to kill was an idea, and that idea is simple, almost childishly simple, which is exactly why it terrifies them. Africa can be free. Africa deserves dignity. Africans can govern themselves without masters, without puppets, without selling their souls for aid packages that arrive wrapped in chains. That idea, my brothers and sisters, cannot die. Not by bullets, not by coups planned in foreign capitals, not by threats whispered behind closed doors, by smiling ambassadors carrying poison in briefcases. Ideas die only when we stop believing in them, when we surrender to the comfortable lie that nothing will ever change, that Africa's destiny is to beg, to borrow, to supply raw materials so others may grow rich while we remain poor. I am here to tell you, I have not surrendered, and neither should you. This is not new. The pattern is old, worn smooth by repetition. They killed Patrice Lumumba in Congo because he dared to say that Congo's wealth belongs to the Congolese people. They tortured him. They murdered him. Then they tried to erase him from history as if he had never existed. They killed Thomas Sankara on October 15, 1987, the man who renamed our country Burkina Faso, the land of upright people, the man who proved that Africa could be honest, could be clean, could serve its people instead of foreign interests. They shot him down and installed a puppet in his place. Any African leader who refuses to obey, who refuses to open his nation's vault to foreign corporations, who dares to say our resources belong to us, is marked. Sometimes the weapon is a bullet. Sometimes it is a coup. Sometimes it is character assassination printed in newspapers whose editors sit thousands of miles away. Sometimes it is economic strangulation disguised as sanctions or credit downgrades. But the objective never changes. Remove the leader who will not obey. 7 days ago, they tried to add my name to that blood-soaked list. But here is the truth we rarely admit, the truth that keeps me awake at night. They cannot succeed without help. They cannot exploit Africa without Africans who open the door and welcome them inside. Look at our continent honestly. We are among the richest on earth. The Democratic Republic of Congo alone holds over $34 trillion in mineral wealth. 34 trillion. And yet Congolese children go hungry while that wealth enriches corporations in New York, London, and Beijing. Why? Because leaders chose power over people. Because they looted on an industrial scale. Because Swiss bank accounts mattered more than clean water, hospitals, and schools. There is a disease in African politics, what some scholars call a loss of political hygiene. And I ask myself every single day, am I immune or will I too become infected? Because power is dangerous. It whispers to you in the dark. It tells you that you are special, that you are indispensable, that only you can save the nation, and therefore anything is justified. Every dictator in history started by believing he was different. Corruption does not arrive all at once. It arrives quietly. One arrested journalist, one stolen dollar, one broken promise. Until one day you wake up and realize you have become exactly what you once fought against. Let me tell you about 3 moments that define who I am. 3 temptations every African leader faces. The first temptation came 2 weeks after I took office. My security chiefs brought me a list of names, opposition leaders, journalists, activists. Arrest them now, they said. Strike hard, strike fast, show strength. That night I paced my office for hours. For one terrible moment my hand hovered over my phone, and then I stopped. If I jailed critics for speaking, for organizing, for disagreeing with me, the revolution would die that very night. So I said no. And instead of enemies, I gained allies. The second temptation arrived in the form of a smile. An ambassador came with promises, aid, investment, recognition. But there were conditions. Silence about colonial exploitation. Favorable access to our resources. For one long night, I almost said yes. The speech I wrote is still in my drawer, to remind me how close I came to betraying you. There are no free gifts in international politics, only prices. So we chose a harder path. We will sell jewelry, not raw gold, finished garments, not cotton fiber, processed products, not poverty. The third temptation broke my heart. A brother from the revolution, a man I loved, was caught stealing from the people. Everyone told me to protect him. That night I wept. But justice demanded action. I stripped him of his power and sent him to face the law, because a revolution that protects corruption is already dead. Today we are not speaking of dreams, we are acting. We are building, educating, processing our resources. Uniting the Sahel. Is it perfect? No. Is it fast enough? No. But it is real. 7 days ago, a bullet missed my head. Today, we speak truth. Tomorrow, this becomes a movement. They tried to kill a man, but you cannot kill an idea. You cannot kill dignity. You cannot kill hope. Africa's time has come. We rise. We stand. We move forward. Together. Forward ever. Backward never. Power to the people. God bless Burkina Faso. God bless Africa.